Welcome everyone to the Watchlist, your virtual weekly TV guide right here on the Latin Nerds Network. Ready to go over all the shows, movies, documentaries released on streaming over the past week. Give you our best recommendations or non-recommendations as the case may be. And of course, at the end of the show, letting you know what's coming out so you too can create your very own watch list. Joining us as always is Senor Jaime, aka Chewy, what it is, what it was, what it shall be.
What's going on, brother? Happy Sunday.
Sporting a new hat. Good for you.
It's just Under Armour.
And the
There's
Commanders
Commanders
non-believer.
lost.
I don't know.
USC as good as UF. Ah,
Fair enough.
get there.
So it's a big week this week and next week, so we're not gonna waste too much time. Let's get into it. Chewy, a lot of stuff to go over. We'll go as quickly as possible. The first one here is one that we didn't have on the radar. I kind of had a little extra time, so I took a gander, a peek, if you will, and that's Women of the Hour. This was a movie starring and directed, first friend to directing for Miss Anna Kendricks. This one looked interesting. Why not? It took place in the 70s, late 70s. Kendricks plays, is actually based on a true story about a serial killer who was, I guess convicted of about 7 to 8 murders, but was linked to about maybe closer to 130 murders of women and young boys and young girls, etc. And she's an actress, struggling. She gets a gig to go in a dating game. Of course, back then, a dating game was a game where a woman would go on there and there's a partition between her and three gentlemen. And yeah, she would ask questions and,
Number one.
choose which one is the best for her to go on a date with. Of course, they pay for it. And this, again, true story, the serial killer who was already had a record was allowed to go on the show because the show didn't know about him. And he was a contestant. And ultimately, she ended up choosing this guy, the serial killer.
That's good. Number three.
So it kind of her brush with almost death at that point, also focusing on some of the stuff that he did in his capture. Well done for a first time director. Actually, it was a pretty interesting story. When I found it was true, I was like, oh, okay, wow, I never heard of this guy. But he's got a long resume. He died in jail a couple of years ago, about 2021, so it's fairly recent. Well done, interesting story. The whole dating game angle, they really played that really well. It's almost kind of ridiculous that happened, but it did, which makes the story more interesting. So it's a good watch. It's about an hour and a half. It's not very long, but a good job on her for her first directorial debut. So I actually enjoyed that one. So definitely recommend on the watch list. The second one here is The Shadow Strays. This one was kind of a hit at the Toronto Film Festival. Directed, I can't even pronounce the guy's name, so I won't even try. But he's a disciple of Gareth Evans, who of course directed The Raids and Gangs of London. So he's got a very, very similar style. The Night Comes for Us, I think, is his first film on Netflix. It's a very cool action flick, Asian, of course, martial arts. This is in the same vein. There's a young girl who's an assassin for hire. She works for an organization. In her downtime, she helps a young boy whose mother was killed, that happens to be her neighbor, by these thugs. He finds out tied to this big drug cartel and corrupt police, and she does what she does best and starts kicking ass. Of course, she struggles because it's a big organization, and her organization doesn't like what she's doing, so they're after her too. Very simple story. It's about a little bit too long. 220 minutes was too long for this film, but at the same time, you're in there for the action, you're in there for the gore and the hyper violence, and it gives it to you in spades. And I absolutely loved it because of it. This is for a certain audience. If you like The Night Comes for Us, The Raid, and all that, great action film. Some really good set pieces. It could have been like 30 minutes shorter, but nonetheless, you get what you pay for. Nothing, because it's free on Netflix. Check it out if you're into that. Absolutely, really like this film. Really well done. Not as good as his last one, but definitely some really good choreography, some fight scenes, and some toma moments, of course, which everyone has a good toma moment. People getting maimed left and right. You gotta love it. So those two are really good recommends, both on Netflix. And again, the movies are rolling the die, but it's rare you get one good movie from Netflix, but then two in the same week. That's impressive. Good for them. Both highly recommend on the watch list. Chew, let's get started with some of the shows. And the first one, of
I
course,
am.
is one that
Yes.
we know we're both going to recommend because we're both big fans of this. This is season 2, dropping 2 episodes on Apple Plus of Shrinking. For Jason Segel, the great, legendary Harrison Ford. He's both psychiatrist or therapist, whatever you want to call him. Segel's character, yeah, psychiatrist, dealing with the death of his wife in a car accident about a year ago, and he's finally, coming to grips with that and getting his life started, and while trying to help everyone else get their own lives in shape here. 30 minutes more or less. I
Can
wish
I
it was full.
spoil? Can I spoil?
I'm sorry.
Can I spoil?
Sure, why not?
Now we know what happened to Roy Kent after he left.
That's true. Roy Kent is back. He's gonna be
I mean,
apparently
bastard.
not the character you expect. I won't
No.
spoil that, but he's definitely there and back. But it's good to see him. Listen, this is a 30-minute show. That season three's already been greenlit, so that kind of gives you an idea what to think about season two and the popularity of the show. It's very funny. It's a show I highly recommend. So only one season in, you go back and watch on Apple Plus. This is one of the top shows, which says a lot because I have a lot of good stuff on Apple Plus. Off to a good start. It's funny, great characters. I love Harrison Ford and Siegel in this one. Top notch, Chewy.
No, man, this is got a lot of heart, a lot of comedy. It's on point. It's relatable. You know the characters and what they're going through. I mean, it's like you said, man. This is much watch TV.
Yeah, no, it really is. It really is. And season three is coming out, so that's exciting to know that going into a season, you know, you're gonna get at least one more. It'll probably be more than that, but at least one more for now. I'm not sure how
Oh,
much.
well, but now since we're talking about Apple Plus, Slow Horses renewed for season six. On top of
Well,
that,
which we knew.
and we haven't no, we haven't no, we had known,
They
but season five is
gave you
coming.
the
They
trailer.
went ahead.
Oh, season six. I'm
No, no,
sorry.
no, not season
I
five.
take
I'm
it
talking
back.
about
Okay.
season
I
six.
take it
So
back.
beyond
Okay. Oh, even there we
six.
go. Even more good news.
So,
Look at that. More shrinking,
mhm.
more slow horses.
More slow horses.
Everybody wins because those are really two really strong shows for sure on Apple. You guys should definitely check out. This next one, Chuya, is Gundam Requiem for Vengeance. I thought it was gonna be like an animated film. It's actually a series, 6-part
Well, that's
series.
so too, and I was like, it's a series. Like, oh, okay, well, I'll take that.
Yeah, I thought it was a film, but whatever. So yeah, 6 episodes. I don't know anything about Gundam. I know it's a video game that's done other stories and anime before. This takes
Mhm.
place future,
Just,
whatever. I don't
I
know.
think
People
you should Earth,
battling and
yeah.
wars and people on these giant mechs, and which sounds cool. I have my
Mhm.
thoughts, but let you go, Chewy, first on this one on the watch list.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, I love a good animated slash, video game related property. This reminded me of that one game that came out Xbox years ago where you could be a foot soldier or you get inside these mechanized robots. I can't remember what it was called.
Pacific Rim.
Uh, no, 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 no,
Oh, the
no, no, no.
show.
That's a movie.
Oh,
That was that
yeah,
Kaiju, whatever. Godzilla, light, I guess I would say.
that's fair.
There's this little game that we enjoyed way years ago. You get inside these mechanized things, just like that, just like in the movie, and kind of fighting through, FPS type thing. But it's pretty good, man. I mean, the animation's good. Story is, I mean, it's only 6 episodes, so you're just seeing a very, very snippet of the world. Right now, a whole lot of setup. It is kind of you drop into the action and you go.
Yeah, I am on the opposite end. I did not like this. It's
No,
just there is no story. It starts off there in battle, I guess, on Earth, and that's like I think 3 episodes, and it just nothing changes. I mean, there's no reason why they're fighting. They're not giving you anything, any idea who the enemy is.
there's no world building. There's no backstory.
Right,
I
and it's
mean,
like it's
it
just
drop you in and you go.
there's a
You
lot of
pick it up or you don't.
yes, a lot of eye candy, and it's like it's just not enough. I need something to follow, someone to root for, and it just didn't work. It just yeah. If they would have built this up, they could have started in battle and then kind of slowed things down, but just they continue the battle for 3 episodes. I assume the rest will be the same way. I just no, I didn't like it. I need something. I need something. Even if it's a little snippet of a story. It doesn't have to be incredible. You know, it's a John Wick's very simple, but it was effective. It still gives you a story, right? Even the Stray still gives you a story. It gives you something to latch on here. Here, there's nothing because we don't know who's defending, who's attacking, or why. Who cares? Who cares? So yeah, if you want eye candy, sure. I guess the animation is good at times, but yeah, it didn't work for me at all. This next one that I never saw first season, so I haven't jumped into it. And that's The Devil's Hour on Amazon, dropping a second season.
Yes, first season.
I never saw the first season.
Yeah, you did, man. We talked about this.
Did
It's from
we?
22,
Did
two years
that
ago. It's
or
been a while.
I didn't
It's been
remember
a
it?
while.
So I don't remember watching the first season. So it could be good.
Ah, you're the worst, dude.
I don't. What can I tell you,
Yes,
dude?
you loved it because
We see
the
so many shows that I
premise.
just get confused.
Well,
If
I
I seen
know,
it,
but
I'll probably make it a point to go back and watch it. Probably next week
you had to. We
when
talked
things
about
slow
this a
down.
couple years ago. This is one of these hidden gems that just came out of nowhere,
Really? I never
right?
heard of it.
Low key, cult following. And that's why I was waiting for season two forever. I was glad that I was kind of glad that it finally dropped. But this stars one of the Doctor Who's over the years, and so the premise was that this is the one where it's not time travel, but it's not resurrection. It's got some sci-fi element because this guy somehow, some way, he's able to reset things. So he lives when he dies, he goes back to the beginning, right? So but that's happening through time, but he can alter the path of his current reality, right? So if you can save someone like they live and then he remembers all this and he continues, but as soon as he dies, it's kind of like Groundhog Day. He goes back to the day he's born and starts all the way over from his life, right? So you're getting that snippet of his life and he's going out to try to make the world better by knocking out people who commit murders or is an accident. He's trying to save people, right? In various ways. I can't remember. You can't remember this one. This was such a great show.
I honestly I do not. That's why I was like, I didn't plan. I did not remember it. I mean, if maybe I'll when I know it's the busy week next week, maybe the week after things aren't as packed in terms of
Yeah,
shows.
I went back and caught the last episode of first season because I needed to get, the refresher wasn't up. I could say, okay, when did we leave off? Because it's been a while, right? It's been more than 2 years since I saw season one. But once I saw it, I was like, oh, shit, okay. And it just literally picked up right from the end of that first season. And this is what I was saying, Jamie Tart
No,
was in season one. I think season two, so I'm like, oh, okay. This is before he was
I'll
Jamie Tart.
I'll give it a shot then when things after 2 weeks when things kind of taper off a little bit in terms of number of
Yeah,
shows.
yeah, because but it's mystery thriller, but it's got that sci-fi element because the way he perceives, and as he, the good thing is that as you, there's people that are not supposed to be alive, but they're alive because of him, right? Because let's say it's a second timeline, right? And as he saves people, they see ghosts of of what they would have been if they weren't there, right? They see things that are not there that would have been there if they weren't alive. You kind of see what I'm saying, right? And so there's one kid who can actually somehow be able to travel to these, I think, alternate realities and interact with them, right? But obviously, he's still grounded in the what the current timeline is.
All right, then okay, I'll jump in there soon enough
Mhm.
and catch it. Yeah, I guess it's, sometimes you see so many shows and things get lost in the shuffle, particularly with so much time in between episodes, seasons.
Mhm.
Like, okay, what happened? So yeah, okay, fair enough. This is the next one. I'll stick with Amazon. That's the Pradeeps in Pittsburgh. This is a 30
Mhm.
minute comedy, about 8 episodes dropped about a family, an Indian family immigrates to the United States in Pittsburgh, of course, and they find themselves in the midst of an investigation by immigration who is threatening to deport them. So it's all told through the what do you call it, interrogation. All the family
And well,
members,
the storytelling is through each person's point of
right point of
view.
view, but via the interrogation that they're going through. Apparently, one of the neighbors' house burned down. A rival family that they weren't seeing eye to eye with for various reasons. Um, this one I gotta say surprised me, man. It really, I wasn't expecting a whole lot of this, but I was laughing, dude, a lot in this show. It's doesn't take it so seriously. It's almost farcical at times. A lot of they throw a lot at you. Spaghetti's coming from everywhere. Not all of them sticks against the wall, but more do than not. And it was funny, man. It's ridiculous at times, but in a good way. It just everyone's stories and how they tell the stories, and even from the beginning, the intro scene with their one of the young girls, the teenage girl sees a young boy, and I forgot what song they played. I go, oh, she's enamored, and
The
they,
movie song.
yeah,
I don't know. It's just funny.
it's funny. And then the kid comes out, sees a garbage truck, and you hear the same song. He's in love. This is very the way it's done is very very humorous. I surprised I liked it this much. This is high in the watch list, Chewy.
No, man. Like, what do we say about comedies? It's got to make you laugh,
That's
right?
it. That's the goal,
And this does it in spades. Some of it through stereotyping, right?
of course.
But more a little bit more intelligent. And it's basically, when each person starts describing their events or how they see it versus how their parents see it or someone else sees it. That's where the big comedy comes in because it's two different perspectives of the same events, right? You kind of see what's going on and they're kind of digging through. Okay, how they're there, but what happened before all this, right? So to take us back layer by layer, each story, each interaction, each event, and make it put a very comedic spin on it.
Really, this kind of reminds me at times of My Name Is Earl. Another cool underrated show back in the day. One of the guys actually stars in this show with the husband of the wife of the neighbor's wife. Um,
Oh yes, that's right. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah, lost a lot of weight, but he's there. But no, it's like I said, it's funny. It's super entertaining. It really is. I think I'm 16. I saw a bunch of these. I was like, just couldn't stop watching. It's like this is. I said I was laughing. I was laughing a lot, and that
Yeah.
doesn't rarely happen in a good comedy. So yeah, good for them. I hope it gets another season. I mean, I got two left. I don't see any reason why the show would not end well. But yeah, I was big surprise on this one. Big surprise. This next one, listen, we like the first two seasons. Netflix, Lincoln Lawyer, of course, Latino representation, so we gotta enjoy it. Good characters, a good courtroom drama, of course, has been very successful. Obviously, as it's got 3 seasons so far on Netflix. I've only seen a couple. I actually only saw one because the wife was really busy. Otherwise, we probably would have binged it all because she is the streaming slut. So I'm saved. I can kind of maybe nurture this a little bit and save it for the next few days anyway. But look, so far, a good start. It's just what you expect. I mean, it's not an amazing show. It's not going to change your life in terms of good characters, fun show that which knows how to keep the stuff light. A lot of levity in there, but giving you serious, court cases, and yeah, enjoyed it. I absolutely enjoyed it. Chewy.
Yeah, yeah, no disagreement there. It's
Yeah,
a very good, enjoyable, entertaining show.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, people are clearly watching it. So bring another one. What the hell? This last one, Somos Oro. Speaking of Latin representation, Mexican show about two women who are struggling on their stations in life and financially, and decide to become entrepreneurs and start their own pyramid scheme business with shampoo, whatever the case is, and they found a lot of struggles in recruiting and their rival companies, etc., etc. They know what to expect on this one, but when you watch Pradeeps in Pittsburgh and you follow with this, it's just
It's a letdown.
it's a huge letdown. It's what do we say? You just mentioned it. A comedy's supposed to make you
Well,
laugh, right? That's the goal.
like I said,
I wasn't laughing.
a lot of it is lost in translation.
Well, I was watching it in
Because
Spanish, so I put it in.
well, no, I understand that,
Right.
but humor.
Oh,
Well, what I mean
I
with
see what you're
that,
saying. Right, right, right.
not from that to that, but
Sure.
what's funny in English
Yeah.
is not the same as what's funny in Spanish, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're used to a certain style of comedy, when you see this, it's funny, it's got its moment, but it's not the same, right? It's because it's a different humor, it's different culture, it's different aspect to what's funny there versus what's funny here. Right here, it's we have a whole range of comedy from slapstick to sitcom, so on and so forth. And so it's like I said, not a bad show, but it's not heck, if you compare it to Pradeep's, you're going to be disappointed because it's not laugh out loud,
Right.
funny moments that you just can't stop and look at it and laugh.
Yeah, it's one of the ones where this one I won't recommend. There's a lot of shows out there, and like I said, if you want to see a comedy, Pradeep would be the one to put on the list. I mean, it's not even for me. It's not.
By
Yeah,
far,
it's not even a
not even.
question. So, but this was kind of I won't say it's a letdown because wasn't really expecting a whole lot out of the show, but at the same time, it didn't impress me, and I don't think I'll finish. I think it's on 2, maybe 3. 30 minutes. I think it's on 3. But I just don't see myself finishing the show because just, whatever. It's not that interesting. It's not that funny. At the end of the day, right? It fails in its goal for me anyway. So yeah. So a lot of stuff here, but there's some good things. Excuse me, for sure on here, on particular Netflix and Amazon. So good for them. Next week, another big week. I hope things slow down. I think it's supposed to slow down as we hit the beginning of November.
It's towards the end of the month and into November, another holiday stuff, but we're not going to talk about this.
Yeah, I mean, there's some big titles, but
It's holiday
as
stuff.
far as quantity, I think it calms down a little bit, which is good. But next week we're only through real quickly. On the 23rd, we got Family Pack, a werewolf version of Jumanji, I guess to a certain degree. A family playing a game, they get taken back to a time that they have to find werewolves along those lines, a board game. The Zodiac, this is the Zodiac speaking, of course, documentary on, of course, the Zodiac Killer, very famous, a lot of movies and documentaries in the past. The 90s show finishing off, involuntarily finishing its
Right.
run. It's just got canceled, so whatever. The Pasta Queen, again, the 24th, is a kind of reality show, but I know she's a famous chef or cook or whatever, traveling through Italy and cooking the ingredients of the land, if you will. Territory on Netflix. This is an Australian show. It's kind of Yellowstone, or in the
This
Serengeti.
is yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, an Australian Yellowstone, I think is what
yeah,
it
it's kind
is.
of what it is, and that kind of vibe. Tremor Beach, a Spanish show, 6 episodes, kind of a mystery thriller. There's a lot of the guy who can see visions of the future and they're coming to fruition. On Amazon, Like a Dragon, this is Yakuza, a base of a video game I never played on the Sega
I
consoles.
remember it. I never
I
played it.
remember
Yeah.
seeing it, but I never the cover and all. I never bought it, never got it. Yeah, so I think it's two timelines, 19 something and 2005, I guess, and
1950s, if
The
I'm
50s,
mistaken.
yeah, and
Yes,
then 2005.
2005.
I'm not sure how he goes back and forth to the relation between those timelines, but obviously the Yakuza, hello, the Asian cartel, if you want to, I guess, for lack of a better term. But could be nice action packed. So whatever, I'm all for that. So particularly watching Strays, this weekend on Netflix. So why not? And then we got Before on the 23rd and 25th. I'm sorry, on Apple Plus. Billy Crystal, eating again. Good for him. Doing some dramatic work here. It's like a mystery thriller. He's a child psychiatrist or therapist or whatever again, who's treating a young boy who clearly has some kind of link to the past and his wife, Billy Crystal's wife, passing or whatever the case is. So Apple Plus, Billy Crystal, why not? That's coming out again next Friday. So a lot of stuff next week. Short leash again next week. So we'll see on this one. There's only so much I can watch. But that being said, we'll talk about those next week. Of course, join us here every Sunday. You're new to us. Thank you for joining us. Subscribe, record, help us out. Hit that notification bell. Comment below, and we'll see you guys next week.
Okay.